Is it time to give pilots a raise to improve airline safety? We welcome John Greaves. He's a former pilot and aviation attorney representing the family of a Buffalo crash victim in a wrongful death suit. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, Liz. Good afternoon, David.
It seems to me, David and I talk about this. The two people you don't want to short on salaries are surgeons and pilots. Right. And this is what we're looking at today, are people who have died because we don't know exactly the reasons, but we do know this: they were underpaid and they were exhausted. But where do you stand on this, and what do you think was the real cause?
Well, I think the low pay is a factor in this. I'm not sure that it's the cause, but it is a factor in the chain of events that led up to this crash. When I was a sub captain with Comair, we were making about the same amount of money that these guys are making today, and that was back in the middle 80s, wow. Throughout the 80s, I should say. And we were based in Cincinnati, where the cost of living is very reasonable. We could support our families. We could live a reasonably good lifestyle. We didn't have to commute. But these days, like with Continental Express, for instance, in Colgan, their main hubs are Newark, New Jersey, and Washington, D.C., and Houston. And those are high cost of living areas, and you can't live on $16,000 to $20,000 a year in those areas. So these pilots have no choice but to live in areas that the cost of living is lower and then commute. And this is not a good idea.
But John, they're commuting thousands of miles. In the case of this co-pilot, the woman co-pilot, she was on the West Coast and she actually commuted thousands of miles across country. Shouldn't there be, at the very least, say a 24-hour rest period that is required before you fly the plane, after your commute, a 24-hour buffer during which you rest and are refreshed by the time you get into the seat?
Well, I would agree. And in this particular incidents, this first officer had a couple of days off before she had to commute, but she was ill and wanted to make her, she needed to make her flight because she'll be docked for not showing up. They have a 75-hour guarantee, and that's at the $16,000 level. But you depend on flying more than the 75-hour guarantee. And any time that's over that 75-hour guarantee gets docked.
Okay.
If you call in sick.
I'm getting so frustrated and anxious right now, even listening to this. What is the answer? Is it that you win lawsuits like this that force the company to then change the way they do business and pay these people more? Well,
the way it should probably work, I mean, the attitude that, well, gee whiz, we can get away with paying these guys very low wages because we're offering them an opportunity to gain experience so that they can move on to the major airlines. I don't think the public expects that. They expect and deserve more than that. And how about this for an alternative? You pay regional pilots good salaries, just like you do the majors, and you keep the pilots. They're not. You don't have them for a stepping stone. You keep the pilots. They get their experience there, they stay there, they make careers there. You're going to have a much safer airline that way.
And you make sure that they are well rested and not very sick when they're flying a plane. That seems to me the base minimum requirement. John Greaves, great to see you, sir. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Liz.